today this video is brought to you by On the Road Again Mobile Auto Repair. There's my customer right there. What year is your vehicle? 2009. Alright, this is a cool video I've been wanting to do. I'm sure this video is probably more directed towards either a mobile mechanic, a do-it-yourselfer that's really good mechanically with their hands, looking for a new trick. Everybody's probably been through a situation like this before where you're like, dang, I need a press. Do I go out and buy a $400 press, or do I try to call someone else? Well, this customer here decided to give me a call. I know a trick to do it without that. And today, I'm gonna show you my secret. We're gonna use a back gas port. We're gonna use these right here. And we're gonna use a little bit of ingenuity. Some master mechanics that sit up in Firestone with a $200,000 toolbox full of tools may disagree with us, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. And most likely, guys like me will run circles around them in the shop anyway. But here we go. Oh, I forgot to mention, most of the stuff that we got on here is already pre-taken off. Ran into a jam on the bottom, getting these two control arms off. It's a split control arm system. Milwaukee cordless, that's the way to go. All right, go ahead and jack it up some more. Show them that tool that you bought that's worthless to you. There's one. Appreciate how he hung his caliper. That's the proper way they teach you. And you're not going to stretch your hose out. I can tell you this from my years of experience. Don't let them hang. Don't let them hang too long. Ain't gonna sound weird about it. We at least want it to be out of our way. I'm right-handed mainly, but I'm left-handed, right-handed, but I feel like I'm gonna get more power on my right hand today. Some days I switch when I'm not feeling too well, but you'll be able to see me swing from both ways, obviously, because you got two of them. Which one do I want to do first? I think I'm gonna do the one that's next. We're gonna do some more videos here soon to show you how to replace the strut on those. A lot of people have problems. A couple of those pointers I got to it. And this isn't just specific to this car. There's a lot of them that have pressed-on bearings. Of course, we all love to get that perfect hub assembly where we slide back the CV axle and take off 3 or 4 bolts. It makes you feel like a hero even as a do-it-yourselfer. Alright, so we're going to be hammering on this. We always want to spin this on there, because I don't care if you got the most perfect aim in the world. If you miss and hit that thread, then you just cost the customer a ball joint or another control arm. I'm going to use a heavy 3-pound hammer. It's all about leverage and angle, so I'm going to lay down. I'm going to take these off for a second. These are actually prescription glasses that cost me a lot of money. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do, just get a good view on this. I'm gonna get some really good smacks on this thing. We're trying to jar it loose. All right. Sometimes you get lucky and pop right loose. But next step, we're going to try to heat this outside up without melting the rubber. A matte gas torch is a mechanic's best friend. You all know when we heat something up, it expands. I think even when that screen goes dark, it's still on, but I tap it too. I haven't figured it out yet. Alright. Alright, I can tell that it's starting to free it up. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to the next side. It actually moved a little bit. That thread was a little tighter than the other one. I spun it on a thread, 1.5 threads, and it got tight, so I knew it wouldn't cross thread. I just zipped it on a little bit more. All right, now. All right, see it move. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a little PB blast up in there. I'll go back and forth. Fixing cars is a patient man's game. The moment we get angry or upset, it's usually going to take us a lot longer. I'll get that right there. Okay. All right, so show them this, how the sleeve slid up. So we got this one. That's one of them. Show them how it came up. You won't see that style too much where they got the sleeve and a taper on it, but it's cool. I've seen it before. The customer said something cool earlier about this nut thing. You actually are spinning it on for two different reasons. One of them, so that thing probably weighs 35, 40 pounds. That might fall and smash your finger.
Yeah.
Or mess something up on it. Everything's math and science and auto repair. We're not pushing down on this thing. Gravity is. Now that we know we got it, it's just love taps from here on. All right, so this is the part we want on. All right. I always do this in the grass. I was hard-headed for a long time. I did it a different way for a long time. I realized the grass has some give to it. The first thing we want to do is take off the... We're taking this part off because there's going to be a C-clip in there. So I just use something like this. I wouldn't probably use this if he didn't have a new one. I'll probably find a socket or some kind of something a little bit skinnier than that. But I'm not worried about damaging this. See how that couple little hits may go down? If you're not comfortable swinging a hammer, this isn't for you. All right, so first thing I'm noticing, this is a surprise to me. Let me see the new kit real quick.
That's right, I need a new box.
I want to make sure I'm correct. All right, so this job has been done previously. As you can see, they never put a C-clip in there. I'm looking at it wrong. It was so rusted it blended in. So I've dealt with this style bearing before. You can actually knock this out from either direction. But it's supposed to have C-clips in it, from what I remember. We'll find out here in a minute. I guess it doesn't on this one. I'm thinking about the Nissan one. Go ahead and grab that PB blast right there. Just spray a nice little layer all around. Yeah, it's definitely the Nissan Altima I'm thinking of that has two clips on it. All right. I'm not your typical mechanic. I'm not a tool collector. I basically would I personally only buy things that I need. Occasionally I have been called tightwad even by my own family. But one thing I realized you can't really cheese on is a good solid pair of snap ring pliers. This is the Icon brand that they sell at Harbor Freight. And if anybody's been to Harbor Freight, the Icon brands look very similar to Snap-on. I'm not sure if they're somehow related. Before I put those on, when I see it this rusted, I usually just give it a couple love taps to break it free. I mean, why not work harder and smarter instead of harder? All right, now I want to find the right pair. Generally, when I do stuff like this, or I'm hammering or anything, I keep my mouth shut completely. One day somebody see me doing it, and they said, why you always close your mouth like that when you're working on stuff? I'll tell you, it's so I don't lose a tooth. I've trained up plenty of people over years, and I teach them the same way when they're interns. I'd rather get a busted lip than a tooth knocked out. Especially back in the day when I was working in the shops using air tools all the time. Some of them Snap-on air wrenches. You'll be tightening up that bolt, all of a sudden that thing catches funny, man, and shoots back on you. All right, the first thing I do, I take these things out. See how one, you didn't see it, but it popped up almost at me in the eye. So I don't want. Take them out. I try to respect the customer and pick them all up. The way the lawnmower don't catch it and bust the window out. But I can tell you this, I wish I had these when I was a kid. That's a slingshot. That's slingshot heaven right there. All right, so if I was doing this with the press, I may or may not take all this stuff out. But we ain't got a press. Plus, I've done this so many times, I feel like I can do it faster without a press. I guarantee somebody's watching this video right now thinking it's not gonna work, he's gonna mess it up. That's why I don't recommend everybody to do this, because if you're hard-headed and don't have no common sense and you don't know when to stop and switch it up a little bit, you probably will mess it up. But this is just another way to try. Generally, I would take the shield off, especially on the ones that got a few screws on them. So if you're doing this on a different make and model, it's gonna have 3 or 4 screws on it. You're gonna put a Phillips screwdriver on there, it's not gonna go. You're gonna be mad. Just take a pair of vice grips and clamp on the side of it, crack it loose, then use the screwdriver, take off. He damaged this a little bit at some point or someone before, where you can knock this off and then knock it back on. But it's not that big a deal. We just got to make sure before we get it all back together that there's a sufficient gap from the back of the rotor so you don't have to pull the wheel back off and fix the scraping noise. But this video is only on this. This is a do-it-yourselfer. He's gonna put it back together himself. I'm just doing the bearing part. if you don't have the other piece, like he purchased right here, this is the best way to do it, easiest. You would just take a circular grinder cutter and you would cut a groove in it from here to here, you know, not all the way into it, but enough into it to where you can take a cold chisel. I would use a bigger one than this, but you would put it down, you would hold it like this, put it down in a crack and smack it once. And when it does, by doing that, it splits it. And once it splits, it slides right off. It doesn't matter if you put a few nicks in it or anything like that, you can still use it. But it's always better to have the new piece. So you got glasses on? Okay. I'm gonna tell you, whatever direction you're swinging towards, make sure there ain't no windows. Ask me how I figured that out. Show them my truck over there. See that door that's wide open right now? I shattered that back window out from this. I'll show them this. When I was hammering on this, that little piece popped off and shattered out my back window. And I knew better, I was just in a hurry. Generally, you would heat it around the sides, just like how we did when we took the control arm ball joints off. But I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm just, because sometimes it just goes. I'm gonna see what we're dealing with first. All right. This is just an old hammer. It was actually a pain in the butt hammer that I've warranted out 3 or 4 times at AutoZone. And I think the second one I warranted out, I was like, hey, can I keep this? And one day I found out this actually works better than the other way I was doing it. Hit from that angle, maybe switch 180. Hit from that angle, and go the other way. If you do this about 5 or 6 times and it don't move, then you're gonna heat it up. Okay, it's moving. Show them where it moved already. It is already a little bit moving. Don't be hard-headed and keep hitting it from one side and it starts getting cockeyed and you're like, why ain't this thing moving? Don't get hard-headed and think you got a better way than me than other than putting it down on some soft grass and try to prop something up behind it. See how I missed that? That's what broke my window the last time. This ground's a little soft. I think it rained recently. I'm gonna keep on moving. All right, show them how far we're getting. It's going nice and smooth now. This is only half the bad. We got to be a lot more kinder when we put the new one in. I know that's what the haters are waiting for. So I think I'll mess it up. I know this is a new channel. I may not post a bunch of videos really fast. I'm gonna start out with some of my favorite shortcuts. There you go. Don't throw this away because you're actually going to use this in a little while. You'll see. All right, now we're going to flip it over this way. Come on. We don't want to overthink it, but you at least want to make sure there ain't no crazy amount of rust up in here. So the new clip just pops right back in. All right. I'm only going to show you this because this is going to work on multiple vehicles. This particular vehicle right here has a ring for the ABS sensor. Some of the cars that this is going to apply to, it's going to have a different style that has a, you can actually put it in backwards. Look at the bearing. This side, one side of it will look kind of different than the other side, and the reason being there's going to be a magnetic strip in there. If you're not sure which one it is, take a thin flathead screwdriver or something like this and just see if it's magnetic. Cause you're gonna be real mad when you put that thing in and realize front left ABS sensor code, and you're gonna be like, damn, I put the bits in backwards, you'll be doing a job twice. And trust me, I've done it before. All right, so now we got the new bearing. For the most part, we got this thing cleaned out. Now this part, we're gonna heat it up. And also this part, we're gonna do on the concrete so I don't catch these leaves on fire. Matter of fact. We're at his aunt's house, so his driveway looks pretty nice. Okay, that was my nice way to ask for permission. Sometimes it might chip the driveway up. Let me get yours. I'm gonna do them both at the same time. I think I'm getting rid of the. Heat this up. Kind of reminds me of putting a piston pin in. If you got this planned out on a Saturday and it's a Thursday, it might even be good to take, if you already got the bearing, go ahead and take this bearing and set it in the freezer. That way it's ice cold, it's going to shrink it, this is going to heat it and go on a lot easier. All right, grab that heavy hammer over there and that secondary piece. Before I do this, I'm gonna tell you, every single one of these goes a little differently. The thing we gotta be aware of, this bottom part, First thing we want to do is get it going. The same way we put it in, the same way, or took it out the same way we put it in. Don't hit it flat. Hit it at an angle like this. This is hardened steel, so always be paying attention to this bottom part. It'll pop out on you. If it pops out on it, it's okay. You just got to do it a little differently. We already know what was wrong with it. The bearing's bad. We just don't want it to happen again, so I spread out my blows so I don't beat it up. If your arm gets tired, it ain't time to take a break. Cool. The longer we take, it's cooling down on us. We can show them the little gap it's starting having there. See the gap in the middle? We want to keep an eye on that thing, because sometimes it pops down. I'm hoping that we get it to see it before. Remember this? This is the next thing we use. By now it's cooled down enough where I ain't gonna burn my hands, so don't give little baby tests. One nice blow on each side. All right, remember what I was saying? This could pop out. We got two choices at this point. I'll take the first one, you gotta pull back in. And do baby taps, get the lock back down, please. That's okay, because I expected that to happen. So now, I wish I had 3 hands, but I only got 1. So I'm hoping the customer trusts me enough. Just hold pressure on this side. Okay. He can hold that. All right, switch to the other side now. Switch to the other side now. Switch back to the other side. Switch to the other side. Switch back. Back. Those of you that don't have a helper like I do right now, this is the time that you will go in and get your wife and find out if she really trusts you or not. I'm sure she's gonna say no, so that's a joke. Some of y'all might actually hit her hand. She might have done something to make you mad. All right. You'll know when you get to the bottom, it's gonna make a distinct noise. starts to sound a little more solid. Which I'm starting to hear. I don't know if you can hear it. You heard it though, didn't you? That was like a dope, dope. All right, now time for us to put the clip in. We're gonna need the clip. And the snap. Did I grab the snap? Hopefully. We're a little unorganized right now, and we're hoping that my tools don't get mixed with his tools and vice versa. I actually butted him in front of another job because I felt like this is a good video opportunity. All right, so somebody else might do this differently, but I'm gonna, as you can see, I locked in one side right there. I'm just gonna simply kind of just roll that down. I'm gonna find out a good pivot point. Sometimes you don't get it on the first try. Every car is different. Every car's got its own personality. I don't even know if this car has a name. Did you nickname this car? Mm-mm. I always tell everybody nickname your car. Most of my cars are called Betsy, but there's one I call Gabriel, like the angel. And that seems to be the one that I loan out to people. It's an old work truck that I didn't need no more, but it's made this morning. Why not help people out? All right, now this part might be the one part a lot of people are going to struggle on. We're going to set it in there like so. You're going to find you a nice socket that's nice and wide and flat. Don't find one that's about the same size as that and mess those splines up. As you're doing this, keep an eye out, make sure it's centering it so. And also, I should have reminded y'all, the ones that took the cover off, make sure you put that cover back on before you put this back on. I've done that before too. It's very aggravating. All right. When you get to this point, come back over here to the CV axle. The moment we get enough clearance on the CV, put a little lube on there. I used to work for this old guy back in the day. He said, I don't care if you put lube on every single bolt you put in. He said he didn't care if I had to spit on it. But if we keep beating on that thing, it's gonna pop that out. So sometimes you get enough clearance at this point. So we gotta go a little bit more. Just a little bit. So what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna be dumb and put the threads back down on concrete and mess up the front threads. If you got a nice stack of cardboard or something like that, you can still do it on the concrete, but I'm also not gonna. You had another hammer, or grab my other hammer over there. No, this one won't work. That my other blue and red one. Don't try to like hammer it on her, just it's a patient man's game. So we're going to do a few hits the way we were doing it. I know y'all see that dirt on her, but I ain't never seen dirt hurt nobody. And you can clean it off easily. We'll do it one more time, and we should have enough threads to pull in. This one's being so nice to us, we might not even have to do that. But I'm going to, because I'm not going to try my luck. So we were able to pull this one off. Those of y'all that are worried about, oh, it probably got damaged. I'll tell you this, all that stuff's hardened steel. If you ever watched that show where they made the knives, the first thing that people on the cars went after was the rotors, things like that, stuff that had hardened steel on it. All right, where's your CV axle nut? Shoot. That's a new one. That kit was really nice. The customer had, where did you purchase it from?
AutoZone.
All right, that works out perfect. I'm gonna tell you this, I've been doing this 28 years now. If you want a job done right, you don't want to have to worry about getting a crappy part. Purchase your part at AutoZone. They got a Duralast brand that's incredible. Their warranty is amazing. I absolutely love their starters and alternators. We know that one's on there. Be aware of the power of your tool, by the way. This is about 1,200 foot-pounds. If you buy a new tool, test it out on your own car. Don't snap off somebody's strut nuts, tighten them up, thinking it's going to be as weak as the last one you had. All right, folks, check this out. There's no noises, there's no hiccups. You want to feel it? Feels good, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. I feel like it should go in more, but I think that's how the other one was. I don't ever.
Does it have any more clearance on the back side again?
That's what I'm saying. The clearance is pretty much gone.
want to say you're right, that they're at different.
I think it needs to go in more. So me and the customer agree that it needs to go in a little bit more. That's okay. This isn't a good rush point. This is a point that you want to be sure about. Out with the customer, but he's gonna be able to put this thing back together.